Gavin Newsom continues to try to kill this ballot measure, which hasn't qualified for the fall ballot yet, that would levy a massive tax on billionaires who live in California. It's already caused some billionaires to leave. I don't know if this is Newsom trying to do a sister soldier or what, but he's been very outspoken against liberals and unions. Did two interviews yesterday, one with the New York Times. Here's the headline: Newsom vows to stop proposed billionaire tax in California. And then another interview with The Politico, in which he says Gavin Newsom moves to neutralize tax on billionaires. Haima, is this purely good politics for Gavin Newsom, or is he being a little too loosey-goosey with the liberal base and the unions if he wants to be the nominee?
I'm not sure yet. I mean, I will say this. I was at dinner last night with some people. We spent 75% of the dinner talking about Gavin Newsom. So that's a good thing for him. So I think at the very least, one of his wins from this is he's going to be in the conversation piece, both on all spectrums of this argument right now.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be talking about him, taking a position on him. One. Secondly, what he's trying to remind people, and someone reminded me of this last night, California is the same state that Kevin McCarthy came from, the same state that Devin Nunes came from. And while he represents a really large swath of the liberal base in America, he also represents a really sizable agricultural community, a sizable conservative community. And so I think he's trying to show that he has some diversity in his politics, secondly. And then thirdly, look, we are far enough away from the 2027 primaries and then the general election 2028, where he can make these bold political declarations and then spend all of this year raising money for candidates, campaigning for candidates, going out there. He is going to be the hottest ticket for all battleground state Democratic parties and their blue dinners. They don't call them Jefferson Jackson anymore. Everybody has a new name for it now.
Yeah.
So all those blue dinners, he's going to go to. All those battleground candidates, he's going to go to. And so I think it's smart politics right now, but it may not matter, particularly if the unions are not overly upset and overly burdensome on their operations. It may just be fine, and he may just have another, he's a political athlete. This would be like the sixth assignment he's been able to complete.
Yep.
So I don't know. I think it's okay right now.
Okay. I will just say, Larry, before you jump in, I'll just say that, well, Larry, you go ahead.
Well, I don't know. It's just odd to hear something like this as being described as bold to come against something as
it's
outrageous.
a Democrat who wants to run for president, going against unions.
But I don't think this has anything to do with Kevin McCarthy's district and the red parts of California. He's had 7.5 years to do things that would accommodate them, and he's refused to do so. This is about, we knew that Gavin Newsom would make that pivot where he tries to ingratiate himself to the rest of the country, because the rest of the country ain't California. What's shocking to me is that the thing that he decided to pivot on and try to say, look, I'm not crazy, I'm reasonable, is taxing billionaires. Which is, I'm sorry, not a great stump speech bullet point for Iowa and New Hampshire, or wherever he's going to be trying to win the Democrat primary. But this is the beginning of the pivot where Gavin Newsom will pretend to be reasonable and moderate.
Okay,
at the end of the day, I wasn't saying that he was trying to appease Kevin McCarthy's district. I don't think he cares about that. I think what he's trying to do is he's showing that he's the governor for all of California, and he understands these issues on a spectrum. And look, at the end of the day, you can say what you want to say. I don't think 100 million millionaire or 100,000 millionaires are going to leave California en masse. He still has an overwhelmingly the biggest amount of billionaires in this country, more than Florida, New York. And so he understands this type of, regardless of what he says and what he said over the last 4 years, he understands this better than most governors, if not all, any governor.
Well, a lot of them are going to leave. I think he has more Republicans and maybe more MAGA people as constituents than any other governor in America, just based on the sheer size of California. And lastly, I will tell you, obviously there's politics here. And I keep telling people, listen, I'm ready for stuff to drop on my head. Believe me, I'm aware. He is more conservative on economics than you folks think. He is a small business person. He understands economics, and he opposes stuff not always, but often, as much as anybody is a politician, when he thinks it's a bad idea, and he thinks this is a bad idea, not just politically bad for him to be the governor who has to deal with this. He just thinks it's bad policy. So you got to factor that in. Good.
And Mark, his father-in-law is probably in this era all the time too. So that's another
exactly.
thing.
Exactly.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.